Hi, I'm Senator Jim Inhofe. I'm a Republican from Oklahoma. I'm the top Republican on the Senate Environment and Public Works Committee. Today, the Obama administration announced an unprecedented rule, one that will have far-reaching implications for each and every American. The administration's so-called endangerment finding will lead to a wave of new regulations, new bureaucracy that will wreak havoc on the American economy. It'll destroy millions of jobs and force consumers to pay more for electricity and gasoline. This bureaucratic nightmare is based on flawed science. Lisa Jackson, who is Obama's EPA administrator, admitted to me publicly that the EPA based its action today on the findings of the UN's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, that's known as the IPCC. She told me the EPA accepted those findings without any serious independent analysis to see whether they were true. Of course, we now have thousands of emails showing several of the UN's top scientists apparently evading laws requiring transparency, defaming scientists with conflicting viewpoints, and manipulating data to fit preconceived opinions. I say it a different way. They cooked the science. For example, some of the scientists involved working to exclude inconvenient facts, most notably the fact that there has been no global warming since 1998. The scandal, which has come to be known as Climategate, has rocked the scientific community. The Atlantic Monthly said, quote, "The stink of the intellectual corruption is overpowering," unquote. And the UK Telegraph, that's a major publication in the UK, they said, quote, "This is the worst scientific scandal of our generation." The UN is investigating it. Don't expect too much from the UN because they're investigating themselves. But nonetheless, they are investigating it. Leading academic and scientific institutions are investigating it, and I'm investigating it. Yet, Democratic leaders in Congress and the Obama administration have dismissed it. Yet I agree with Joe Lieberman, who said of Climategate, he said, quote, "We ought to be demanding that it be cleaned up. We ought to be angry about it." The endangerment finding also will have virtually no impact on global warming. That's because India and China, two of the world's leading emitters of CO2, are left out. So our jobs and our emissions will move to countries that have few, if any, environmental requirements. Don't take my word for it. Just as EPA Administrator Jackson said, the United States action alone will not impact world CO2 levels. So today, the American people are getting a raw deal, all cost with no benefit. Yet the Obama administration is moving forward anyway. Don't forget, today's action was taken just as the UN's Copenhagen Global Warming Conference gets started. President Obama will attend. He desperately wants to show the world he's doing something about global warming. Yet, putting on this show has real costs, and the American people will pay for it many times over with higher energy bills and many with their jobs. Let's remember that Obama is trying to do with regulations what he couldn't do through legislation. This is a raw deal for America.